Every house has a door, but not every door knows how to welcome what matters. Some entrances silently turn away good fortune without you even realizing it. And here's the truth that no one talks about. Your front door isn't just where you walk in, it's where your energy starts. It's the first place your home speaks to the outside world. Whether you attract more wealth, more peace, or more opportunity, or whether you keep chasing without receiving, often depends on what your front door is silently signaling. Because energy doesn't guess, it responds. If your entrance is cluttered, tired, or confused, then so is the flow in your life. If it's clean, aligned, and purposeful, it becomes a magnetic threshold, pulling in exactly what you're ready for. And today I'm going to show you the 7 most common, hidden mistakes that people make near their door without even realizing they're sabotaging their own momentum. These mistakes aren't loud. They're quiet leaks, slow blocks, subtle signs that tell the universe, I'm not ready. But once you see them, you can fix them. And once you fix them, your whole space starts to shift. So if you've ever wondered why good things feel delayed or why your home doesn't quite feel like it's helping you, you're in exactly the right place. Because this isn't about superstition or rearranging for no reason. This is Feng Shui rooted in real energy logic, where form follows flow. And one small change at the entrance can unlock the kind of life you've been trying to build room by room. Before we dive in, I have one small favor to ask. If this type of grounded, practical Feng Shui resonates with you, if you believe, like I do, that energy is real and that our spaces shape our futures, then please help support this channel. Just one like, one share, or one subscribe helps us get closer to our goal of 5,000 followers. It lets me keep sharing more high-quality insights through New Day Mindfulness. Content designed not to impress you, but to empower you. Now let's open the door, not just to your home, but to something better waiting to come in. Section 1, the clutter trap, shoes, boxes, and visual noise. Let's be honest, the first thing most people see when they enter a home isn't a smiling face or a beautiful painting. It's a pile of shoes, scattered packages, and leftover delivery boxes. But what if I told you that this visual clutter is not just a design flaw? It's a direct message to the universe. Your entrance in Feng Shui isn't just a doorway. It's the energetic mouth of your home. It's where qi or life force decides whether to enter with ease or hesitate at the threshold. That's why what you place here matters. And not just in terms of style, but in terms of energetic invitation. This is not about cleanliness alone. You can have your shoes lined up like soldiers and still create energetic traffic. Why? Because the message remains the same. I'm full. I'm managing chaos. There's no space for more. And energy, like guests, is perceptive. It senses whether it's welcomed or blocked. It pauses where the path is confused. It avoids homes that feel like they're still recovering from yesterday's storm. That storm, for many, begins at the front door. Now pause for a moment and reflect. What does your entryway currently say about your readiness to receive? Are you inviting in clarity, wealth, and fresh opportunity? Or silently announcing that you're already overwhelmed, juggling too much, and unable to welcome one more thing? That's your first energetic check-in. This is why Feng Shui emphasizes not only how things are arranged, but what things are allowed to remain visible. Think of your front entrance as a sacred threshold. It's where you transition from the external world into the sanctuary of your personal space. But if that threshold is buried under 10 pairs of shoes, a box of light bulbs, or a stack of unopened Amazon deliveries, the transition becomes emotionally and energetically heavy. It takes effort, mental and physical, to move through it. And that effort sets the tone for everything that follows inside. Most people underestimate how quickly visual clutter becomes energetic weight. A pair of shoes? Innocent. 5 pairs of shoes? A wall. A single delivery box? Manageable. 3 boxes leaning against the wall for days. A silent reminder of unfinished tasks, decisions unmade, actions postponed. The truth is, we all live busy lives. Packages arrive, shoes get kicked off, life happens. But Feng Shui is not about pretending life is perfectly curated. It's about creating small systems that support flow. It's about saying, yes, life is full, but I know how to make space again. That's why the practical rule here is simple, yet deeply effective. Limit visible shoes to no more than 2 pairs per person at the entryway. All others should be placed in the closed storage, not behind a glass door, not under a bench in plain sight, closed. This containment signals order, readiness, and self-respect. And for packages, letters, or deliveries, set a 12-hour rule. If you bring it in, move it within half a day. Because every hour a box sits in your entrance is another hour your home's energy is stalled at the gate. Just like a guest who walks in and sees no place to put their coat or shoes. The energy hesitates, uncertain if it's truly welcome. And this isn't just theory. Clients I've worked with, people who've made multi-million-dollar business decisions, launched creative careers, or healed emotionally, often report that their turning point came after clearing their entrance, not after buying a new statue, not after rearranging furniture, but after removing the noise at the threshold. One CEO once told me, "I never realized how much my hallway was affecting my mindset. Every time I walked in, I felt tired. I thought it was work. It was actually the mess greeting me at the door." What we see first matters. What we step over, ignore, or leave unresolved tells our subconscious what kind of life we're maintaining. So when you place something at your door, yourself, is this here to support my next chapter? Or is this an artifact of delay? Because in Feng Shui, your home is not passive. It speaks. Every object is part of the language your space is using to communicate with energy. And nowhere is that dialogue louder than the entrance. So because whether it's for guests or for energy, first impressions matter. And the message should always be, you are welcome here. Now ask yourself again, what is your entrance currently saying? Because once you answer that honestly, you'll know exactly what to shift next. And just like that, flow begins. Section 2, Withering Life, Dying Plants, and Neglected Symbols. If your front entrance is the mouth of energy and the first impression that sets the tone for everything that follows, then what you place at that threshold, whether it's a pair of shoes or a potted plant, is more than just decoration. It's a declaration. And here's where many well-meaning people make a subtle but serious mistake. They add life to their doorway, but then let it quietly wither. A plant, especially one placed at the entrance, is not simply a natural accent. In Feng Shui, it is a living ambassador, silently broadcasting the state of your household's energy. It says, this space is alive, this home is tended to, the people who live here are nurturing what matters. But when that plant is neglected, dry leaves curling, soil cracked, stems bent toward the ground, the message changes entirely. Whether consciously or not, you are now broadcasting decay, neglect, energetic stagnation. This, more than a cluttered shoe rack or a forgotten box, can quietly damage the flow of positive energy trying to enter your life. Now stop and really ask yourself, what does the plant at your door look like today? Is it flourishing or is it silently crying out for care? Because what greets the eye also speaks to the energy of your spirit. And if that symbol of life is wilting, something deeper is likely being ignored. We need to be honest here. A healthy, well-tended plant is not simply a symbol of good taste. It's an energetic promise. It tells the universe that this home is receptive to growth. that the people within it are paying attention, making space, tending to what matters. But a dying plant is more than just a mist watering. It's a message of internal decline. In energetic terms, it suggests forgotten dreams, stalled momentum, or a household too overwhelmed to care for the life it invited in. And here's where the mistake deepens, because many people place a plant with good intentions. They've read somewhere that greenery attracts wealth, or they saw a lucky bamboo in a friend's home and wanted the same effect. But Feng Shui does not reward symbols alone. It responds to symbols in motion. A well-placed plant with poor care was worse than no plant at all, because it says to the universe, I know what to do, but I'm not doing it. It signals false welcome. It echoes forgotten promises. This principle applies not only to plants, but to every symbolic object in your home. A wind chime that never sings because it's covered in dust. A lucky coin tarnished and shoved in a drawer. A statue of abundance surrounded by unpaid bills. In each case, the symbol may be correct, but the energy is not. So let's focus on correcting this mistake. Gently, clearly, and effectively. If you currently have a plant at your doorway that looks lifeless, tired, or unstable, it is better to remove it today than to let it continue announcing decay. Feng Shui always begins with honesty. Replace that plant with something resilient, something that reflects the level of care and attention you can truly offer. Choose evergreen species, plants that thrive even in imperfect conditions. The peace lily, for example, is not just beautiful, it absorbs toxins, purifies the energy field, and radiates a calm, nurturing aura. The money tree, long cherished across Asia, carries energy of expansion, financial growth, and emotional steadiness. Peonies, symbols of romance, feminine strength, and honor, bring not just beauty, but emotional wealth. These aren't just plants, they're spiritual allies. They amplify what's already within you. But your choice of plant is just the beginning. How you house it matters equally. Avoid thin plastic planters or cracked containers, and instead use ceramic pots with a solid base. This signals stability and permanence. It says, growth is rooted here. It's not fleeting or decorative. It's intentional. Consider the placement as well. A plant should not be squeezed behind the door or placed in a shadowed corner. It must be visible, welcomed by light, and positioned where it feels like it belongs, not like an afterthought. Here's where your awareness deepens. Look beyond the plant itself. How often do you water it? Do you check the soil? Do you prune the leaves? These small acts aren't just maintenance, they are energetic affirmations. Each moment of care reinforces your relationship with growth. You are saying day by day, I nurture the life I choose to bring in. Let me share a story. A client of mine, a woman in her mid-40s working in publishing, was stuck. Her career had stalled, and though she had been trying to shift jobs for over a year, nothing moved. I asked her to send a photo of her home's entrance, and there it was, a peace lily in a cracked plastic pot, brown-edged leaves sagging toward the ground. It's sentimental, she said. Tayamash, I said, it was from a coworker I didn't really like. I invited her to replace it. She hesitated, clinging to guilt. But finally, she let it go and brought in a fresh, vibrant plant in a ceramic pot. Within 2 weeks, she received 2 unexpected job offers. Was it the plant alone? No. It was the message behind it. Her action said, I'm ready for growth, and I'm no longer holding on to energy that feels stale. Energy responded in kind. So ask yourself right now, is there something wilting in your space that you've stopped noticing? Something you meant to care for but quietly let fade? Because in that plant, in that object, there may be a reflection of your own energy, what you're nurturing, and what you have accidentally abandoned. Don't be hard on yourself. Awareness is the first act of power, and small actions repeated with intention shift entire fields of energy. Replace the wilted plant, dust the forgotten altar, wash the stones you once placed with love. It's not about perfection, it's about participation. And once you reintroduce life to your entrance, you'll feel it. You'll walk through your own door and sense it instantly. The air feels lighter, the space more awake. Guests will feel it too, even if they can't name it. Your home will start to whisper, something is growing here. That whisper becomes a vibration, and vibration attracts results. Because in Feng Shui, nothing speaks louder than what is alive. So let your entryway reflect that. Let it say, this home is nurtured. This space is evolving. The energy that enters here is received, welcomed, and renewed. When you walk through your own front door, let that be the first truth you meet. And when energy flows through that same doorway, it will know it is entering a home that is truly alive. Section 3. The tired door. Worn mats, rusted hinges, and faded paint. The front door isn't just the entrance to your home, it's the mouth of chai. It's the handshake between you and the universe, the boundary between your private energy and the world's offerings. And just like you wouldn't show up to a meaningful meeting with stained clothes, chipped nails, and slouched shoulders, your front door should never greet life looking exhausted. But walk down most neighborhoods, even the beautiful ones, and you'll find something surprising. Squeaky hinges that groan with every breeze, doormats caked with grime or bleached by sun, doors that once shimmered now dulled, flaked, or even marked with shoe prints. And while these things may seem minor, Feng Shui teaches that these subtle signals are not just visual, they are energetic broadcasts, and the message they send matters more than most people realize. When a door looks tired, it doesn't just appear neglected. It projects stagnation, exhaustion, and resistance. Every time you walk through that creaky frame or step over that worn-out mat, you're reinforcing a silent signal. This home is not being tended to. This life is on autopilot. This energy is not awake. And the energy that hears that message responds accordingly. In Feng Shui, the door is your portal to opportunity. If the portal is unkept, your opportunities hesitate. If the entrance is dull, your luck dims. If the welcome is stained, then your blessings second-guess their invitation. But let's look deeper. Why does the door matter so much? Because symbolically, the door is you. It is your face, your voice, your boundary, and your invitation. And that mat, it's not just something to wipe your feet on, it's your energetic introduction. Think of it this way. When a visitor steps up to your door, what do they see before they even ring the bell? What do they feel? That's what she is responding to as well. And most importantly, that's what you're responding to unconsciously every day. You may not realize it, but your own spirit registers every crack in the paint, every squeak of the hinge, every speck of dirt on that mat. Over time, it adds up. It accumulates like dust, not on surfaces, but in energy, in mood, in clarity, in motivation. Now imagine this instead. Your door freshly painted in a shade that energizes the soul. The handle firm, smooth, and polished. The mat beneath clean, vibrant, and symbolically chosen. And every time you approach it, morning or night, you feel met. You feel respected. You feel like this home, this life is tended to. That feeling, that is chi in alignment. That is the energetic tone of growth, clarity, and readiness. And here's where the deeper practice begins. Because in Feng Shui, we don't stop at aesthetics. We dive into symbolism. So let's break it down. The paint of your door reflects your vitality. A peeling surface suggests depletion. A faded tone suggests loss of intention. If your door faces south, a red color energizes and welcomes recognition, warmth, and fame. Red is the fire element. It awakens the chi and declares, I am here. For an east-facing door, green connects to the wood element, calling in growth, new beginnings, and health. For north, black honors the water element, attracting flow, wisdom, and deep emotional calm. And if your door faces west, white or metallic tones call in clarity, precision, and supportive people. These aren't color trends, they are energy maps, refined over thousands of years to reflect the flow between your life and the cosmic forces around you. Now let's talk about the hinges. You may think a squeaky door is just annoying, but energetically, a door that groans or resists sends a clear message. Movement here is difficult. And if that door sticks, if it's hard to push open, that resistance mirrors into your daily life. If your opportunities are slow, your projects stalled, your relationships filled with delays, ask yourself, when was the last time I oiled my front door? It may sound small, but chi is not subtle. It simply reflects what is. Smooth hinges, easy flow, welcoming tone. That's what creates movement and momentum. Take a cloth, wipe away the dust, apply a drop of oil, test the swing, listen, feel. That shift in sound, that's not just mechanics, it's energetic approval. That's life saying, thank you for noticing me. The doormat is another story entirely. Many people overlook it, treat it as an afterthought. But in Feng Shui, the mat is the first energetic filter. It either invites blessings in or holds them back. A filthy mat crusted with months of dirt says, I don't respect what comes in. A worn-out mat says, this space isn't guarded. A slippery, curled-up mat, that one says, I'm barely here. And if it's filled with harsh words or sarcastic phrases like, go away or leave your problems at the door, it might be funny, but chi doesn't laugh. It reads those signals literally, and then it obeys. So what's the alternative? Choose a mat made of natural materials, coir, bamboo, or fabric that feels grounding. Replace it seasonally at the beginning of each new quarter. And yes, clean it weekly, shake it out, wash it down, let it know it matters. And most importantly, choose color wisely. Red for recognition and action, green for renewal, black for depth and protection. And be mindful of what you print on it. Words are spells. Choose ones that align with your values. Welcome, peace, gratitude, or even symbols like mandalas or the endless knot. Because that small square beneath your feet, it's your energetic signature. Make sure it signs something worthy. But here's where it gets even more powerful. Your door isn't just a thing, it's a relationship. You meet it every day. You pass through it in moments of departure and return. When you leave for work, when you come home tired, when you step out into the unknown and come back into your sacred space, your door is the constant witness. So ask yourself, what is it witnessing? And what is it reflecting back? Is it saying, I'm proud of this home? Or is it saying, I've been ignored for too long? For those dealing with anxiety, decision fatigue, or emotional clutter, cleaning the door isn't just a physical act. It's a psychological reset. Wipe the knob and tell yourself, I have control. Sweep the threshold and remind yourself, I release what no longer belongs. These are small, tangible acts that bring big internal clarity. And for those seeking new beginnings, a relationship, a job, a purpose, start at the door. Tend it like you would a garden. Make it your ritual, not because you believe it holds magic, but because you know that energy responds to awareness, to care, to intention. That's the real magic. And remember, doors aren't only about what comes in, they're also about what leaves. A door that functions well supports transitions. It allows you to leave past versions of yourself behind, to re-enter as someone stronger, clearer, more aligned. So don't let that door trap old energy. Let it breathe. Let it open wide without hesitation. Let it welcome your future, not your fatigue. And if you live in an apartment building and you think, I don't own my front door, I can't paint it, know this: energy still responds to intention. You can still oil the hinges. You can still keep a clean mat. You can still hang a small symbol of protection or abundance. A wind chime, a calligraphy charm, a plant, or even a bell. Because even in limited space, your attention is limitless. And when you tend to what you can, life meets you halfway. So here's your practice. Walk outside right now. Look at your door as if you were a guest. Or better yet, as if you were your future self arriving with a blessing in hand. What does that version of you see? What do they feel? And more importantly, what do they deserve to be welcomed by? That's the real question. And the answer lives not in books or charts, but in your effort, your love, and your readiness to receive. Because in the end, Feng Shui isn't about superstition. It's about stewardship. It's not about magic. It's about meaning. When your door is tended to, your life begins to respond in kind. One clean sweep, one polished handle, one mat chosen with intention. And from there, the shift begins, not just in space, but in spirit. Not just outside your home, but within your heart. Let your door reflect the life you're building, not the one you've outgrown. Let it welcome not only visitors, but victory. Let it be a mirror of your worth. Because you are not tired, you are not faded, you are not stuck, and neither is your home. All it takes is a new beginning, and it starts right at your feet. Section 4, the sharp and the rusted, misplaced metal. It's not always the obvious chaos that blocks your fortune. Sometimes it's the subtle, silent details, the ones we overlook because they seem so ordinary, so inert, so harmless. A pair of rusting garden shears left leaning near the entrance, an old crowbar resting against the wall, a broken rake, decorative swords mounted above the door, even that collection of heavy metal lanterns or cast iron antiques lining your porch might seem charming, but in Feng Shui terms, they often carry an invisible weight that pushes rather than invites. And this weight, this energy, is what we call cutting qi. It's the subtle, piercing vibration that doesn't just sit there. It sharpens the atmosphere. It divides. It provokes. Now let's be clear, metal is not inherently bad. In Feng Shui, metal is a sacred element, a carrier of clarity, focus, communication, and precision. But like any element, its effect depends entirely on form, condition, and placement. When metal is rusted, jagged, broken, or sharp, it no longer serves its highest function. It devolves into fragmentation. And here's the part most people miss. Sharp or rusting metal near your front door doesn't protect you. It agitates you. It doesn't guard your space. It slices your flow. And over time, that slicing shows up not in ways you can see, but in how you feel. If you've ever noticed that you're short-tempered at home, or that your decisions feel rushed, foggy, or constantly second-guessed, take a moment and step outside. Look at the metal near your entrance. What's sitting in plain sight? What's leaning in the corners? What's hanging above the frame or tucked beneath the bench? Because in Feng Shui, your outer objects mirror your inner momentum. Rusted shears go fragmented clarity. Bent rods bent focus. If your relationships feel tense, your sleep disturbed, or your home unsettled, your doorway metal might be whispering chaos you didn't even know you were listening to. There's a psychological logic here too. We are wired to respond to our environment, especially sharp objects. It's evolutionary. Our nervous system doesn't relax near blades, even decorative ones. Our eyes dart, our breath tightens, our mind sharpens, but not in the way we want. This creates a low-grade alertness, a background tension that makes us more reactive, more defensive, more prone to conflict or anxiety. And in Feng Shui, this translates energetically. Cutting chi slices through the natural rhythm of incoming blessings. It can reduce harmony between partners, introduce indecisiveness into work, or stir up old emotional patterns that never quite seem to resolve. Now imagine the opposite. Smooth metal, polished surfaces, circular motifs, gentle curves. Think of Tibetan bells chiming softly in the breeze, or a round metal coin placed above the door as a quiet symbol of wealth and continuity. These aren't just design choices, they are energetic remedies. They soften the entryway. They signal discernment, not disruption. They tell the universe, this home is precise, clean in intention, and open to prosperity without harm. In this way, metal transforms from threat to tool, from a blade that cuts to a compass that guides. Let's bring this into practice. Start by scanning your front door area day and night. Observe what's present, both intentionally and by default. Look beneath benches, behind planters, along the porch railings. Are there old screws, nails, rusted hinges, or forgotten tools? Remove them. Not later, now. Because every piece of sharp, neglected metal at your entrance is a silent leak in your energetic field. It bleeds confidence, it muddles direction, and it sabotages clarity. Next, assess the symbolic metal. Many homes use wrought iron for aesthetics. Gates, railings, wall art. If you love the look, keep it, but refine it. Curves over spikes, balance over clutter, rust-free over forgotten. If the item is spiritual, a bell, a coin, a wind chime, make sure it's clean, whole, and placed with reverence. A coin motif at the base of the door can amplify abundance. A soft bell near the knob can awaken presence. A circular mirror, small, never facing directly outward, can reflect protection. In all cases, avoid swords, knives, or axes, no matter how artistic. These forms stir slicing chi, even when disguised as decor. Now here's where this section connects with the one before it. Your door itself is often metal, and how that metal is treated matters. A rusting knob, a dented kick plate, or flaking hinges all generate energetic fray. Even if they still function, they radiate, "I've been forgotten." So tend to them. Polish the knob, replace the plate, oil the hinges, paint over nicks. These acts don't just repair, they reset. And what they reset is your personal tone with the world. Because when you touch that door, when you grip that handle, you are sending a pulse. Let that pulse be clean, confident, and whole. Now let's dive even deeper. The direction your door faces determines how metal behaves there. In the 5-element cycle, metal nourishes water and cuts wood. So if your door faces north of Shikti, water, metal elements can be beneficial. If it faces east or southeast in wood, be cautious. Too much metal here can create energetic conflict. West and northwest, metal thrives here. You can emphasize it with gold, silver, copper, or white elements, but always in smooth, symbolic forms. No spikes, no hooks, no blades, because energy doesn't respond to your intention alone. It responds to form. And let's talk legacy. Many people hang ancestral swords, daggers, or heirloom tools above their door as a mark of strength. But if these items carry unresolved family energy, conflict, violence, or grief, they don't offer protection. They prolong pain. In those cases, bless the object, honor it, then place it inside respectfully in a case or on an altar. Your front door should not carry the weight of battles. It should carry the call of peace. Here's a true story. A client once came to me confused. Her son had begun waking every night at 3 a.m., restless, anxious, unable to fall back asleep. Their family had been experiencing tension, miscommunication, and work burnout. I asked about their entrance. Above their door hung a massive, rusting iron horseshoe, a gift from a neighbor. Supposedly lucky, but it was cracked and installed upside down. We removed it, polished the frame, replaced it with a smooth brass bell etched with the word clarity. That night, the house slept, and within a week, the tension softened. Conversations flowed. The air felt different. It wasn't luck, it was alignment. Because what you place at your door becomes a magnet, either for struggle or support. It's not superstition, it's resonance, it's vibration, it's physics and feeling all at once. So here's your practical Feng Shui checklist. Remove all rusted tools, metal scraps, or jagged decor from the front entrance. Don't relocate them. Remove them entirely or store them in enclosed sheds, bishop from the chai mouth. Examine the symbolic metal. Is it cracked, tarnished, angry in shape? If yes, either repair, refine, or replace. Choose one smooth metal item to bless your doorway. It could be a polished brass coin, a bronze chime, a silver bell, or a copper circle. If your door is metal, maintain it seasonally. Wipe it clean, paint chips, oil moving parts. Avoid hanging blades, swords, or anything weapon-like above or beside the door, even for aesthetic reasons. And most importantly, remember this truth. Metal teaches us about boundaries, about strength with softness, power with grace. So let the metal at your entrance be a reminder, not of tension, but of clarity, not of force, but of form, not of protection through fear, but of peace through alignment. Because in Feng Shui, everything whispers, every item tells a story, every material carries mood. And what surrounds your door, that's your first sentence. That's your introduction. That's what greets fortune or turns it away. Let your home say what your soul has longed to declare. I am ready. I am focused. I am welcoming life, not with blades, but with balance. Section 5, reflective bounce, mirrors that push energy away. There are few objects in your home more seductive than the mirror. It brightens, it doubles, it makes a narrow hallway feel expansive, a dim corner feel illuminated, and a small space feel generous. It's one of the oldest tools in human history for self-reflection, used in sacred rituals, vanity tables, and royal courts alike. But in Feng Shui, the mirror is never neutral. It is a force multiplier, a shaper of energy. A mirror doesn't just reflect light, it reflects qi. And where that reflection lands makes all the difference. And here's the part so many well-intentioned homeowners miss. When a mirror faces your front door directly, it's not simply a design oversight, it's a rejection. It's like smiling at a guest only to slam the door in their face. The energy that was ready to enter, the qi carrying opportunity, wealth, health, connection, new ideas, new people, is bounced back out before it even has a chance to land. Think of it this way. Your front door is your energetic mouth. It's where life breathes into your space. It's the inhale. And when a mirror sits directly opposite it, you are, without realizing, exhaling prematurely. You're rejecting the offering. You're saying to the universe, no thanks, I'm full. That's why, for all the beauty and brightness mirrors can offer, when placed incorrectly, they can cancel every other effort you've made in your home. It's not superstition, it's directional logic. Energy, like breath, must circulate inward, not recoil, not scatter, not flee. So if you've been wondering why things feel almost right in your life, why opportunities arrive but don't stay, why people compliment your home but never linger, why money flows in but drains just as fast, check the mirror across from your door. because you might be reflecting away every blessing you have been praying to receive. Let's dive deeper. Why do people place mirrors near their entrance in the first place? Most often it's to open up the space to make a narrow hallway feel less claustrophobic or to create symmetry in a decorative layout. Sometimes it's placed near the shoe rack for quick, last glances before leaving. These are reasonable intentions. But in Feng Shui, intention must be married to placement. And when mirrors are placed without awareness, they don't just magnify the room, they magnify the block. In my 2 decades of Feng Shui consultation, one of the most common energetic leaks I've seen, especially in modern homes, condos, and apartments, is the use of mirrors to compensate for tight entryways. But here's what happens. Instead of expanding the flow, they fracture it. They take that beautiful incoming qi and hurl it right back out the door, often with increased speed. You get a turbocharged exit, which is why, in these spaces, we often see residents struggling with restless sleep, unstable income, inconsistent health, or emotional highs and lows. They're not unbalanced people. They're people living in a house that's constantly expelling its own nourishment. Here's a true case. I once worked with a young entrepreneur in San Francisco. Her home was pristine, minimalist, clean lines, elevated taste. But her finances were in constant flux. 1 month thriving, the next barely covering expenses. She was disciplined, visionary, and generous. But something was draining her progress. I visited her home and immediately noticed a full-length mirror directly opposite her entrance, stylishly embedded into a custom-built closet. Every time she opened her door, it deflected her image and the energy right back out. We covered the mirror with a neutral tone panel, then placed a symbolic object, a bowl of earth tone crystals, on a nearby surface to help ground incoming qi. Within 3 weeks, her recurring client returned with a long-term contract. Her cash flow stabilized. Her energy felt less urgent, more rooted. Was it magic? No, it was energetic alignment. So how can you work with mirrors correctly? First, understand this foundational rule. No direct confrontation with the entrance. If you stand at your front door and immediately see yourself reflected, it's a hard no. Mirrors should never push back at entry. Instead, allow them to gently receive and circulate energy within the space. Let them expand sideways, not repel forward. Here's what you can do instead. 1. Place mirrors along side walls of the entry hallway, not facing the door but parallel to it. This elongates the space without causing energetic reversal. You get the benefit of light and reflection without the damage of deflection. 2. Use curved or framed mirrors instead of harsh-edged or frameless ones. The frame creates a boundary, holding the reflection with intention. In Feng Shui, curved frames soften the visual tone and allow energy to be mirrored in a way that's nurturing, not abrasive. 3. Keep the mirror clean, not just physically, but energetically. Mirrors are said to remember vibrations. If a fight, stress, or grief took place near it, cleanse it gently. Use lemon water or moon water and wipe in a clockwise motion while affirming a fresh start. 4. Never place a mirror where it reflects clutter, trash bins, stairs pointing downward, or sharp corners. Because mirrors don't just reflect beauty, they reflect everything. And whatever you double through reflection becomes energetically magnified in your life. So if it reflects mess, you double mess. If it reflects absence, you double lack. But if it reflects harmony, you double peace. 5. Use mirrors to invite, not to repel. For example, in a dining room visible from the entry but not directly in line with the front door, a mirror that reflects a bowl of fruit, fresh flowers, or a family photo can magnify abundance, nourishment, and unity. Now, there's one exception worth mentioning. In some Feng Shui schools, a convex mirror, also called a bagua mirror, may be placed outside the front door to reflect negative energy away from the home. But this is an external practice and only advised under very specific circumstances, such as when a sharp corner or T-junction points directly at your home. Even then, the mirror must face outward and be blessed or properly aligned by a practitioner. It is never for indoor use. So if someone has told you to hang a mirror above your indoor entryway for protection, pause. Ask, what exactly am I protecting? And what am I repelling in the process? Because a mirror's power is not just in what it shows, but in what it shapes. And finally, understand this metaphor. When a mirror faces the door, it behaves like a shield. When it's positioned thoughtfully, it becomes a lake. One blocks, one reflects depth. So ask yourself, is your mirror blocking what you're meant to receive? Or is it reflecting back the beauty you have already allowed in? And here's the closing guidance for this section. Walk through your front door slowly. Pause. Look around. What is the first thing you see? Does it draw you in or bounce you back? Your front door is a mouth, your mirror is a voice. Let them speak in harmony, not in argument. Section 6, the silent sweepers. Brooms, mops, and cleaning tools. Among all the objects that line the modern household, few are as seemingly innocent, yet as spiritually charged as the broom. Simple, functional, often forgotten in the corner. But in the language of energy, this humble object holds more symbolic power than many realize. In Feng Shui, every tool, every shape, every placement carries meaning. And the broom, when left near the front door, speaks in whispers your conscious mind may never hear, but your life feels the echo. Let's get one thing clear. This isn't about superstition. This is about symbolism, and symbols shape behavior, intention, and reality. The broom has always symbolized clearing. It sweeps away the old, the dust, the past, the decay. It holds authority over energetic hygiene. But what happens when that clearing tool is stationed at the entry point of your home, the very portal where new energy arrives? You're unknowingly performing a daily ritual of rejection. With every glance at that broom, your space says, I'm ready to remove, not I'm ready to receive. This is one of those quiet blocks that most people overlook because it feels harmless. After all, what's wrong with tucking the mop by the shoe rack or resting the broom behind the front door for convenience? Here's what's wrong. In Feng Shui, the entrance is the mouth of the home. It's the breath, the pulse, the handshake to the universe. And when you place a symbol of sweeping, of pushing things out, right at that threshold, you are energetically pushing out the very fortune you've been trying to manifest. Think about it this way. Would you sweep the feet of a guest as they walk through the door? Of course not. That would feel disrespectful, even unsettling. But when a broom is leaning near the entry, touching the mat, or visible in plain sight, it performs that action symbolically every day. It sweeps the luck off your welcome mat. It brushes away the chi before it has time to settle. It whispers instability and flux into the bones of your home. And it's not just about brooms, mops, buckets, dustpans. All of these represent removal. In the right context, they're allies. In the wrong placement, they're energetic saboteurs. The message they deliver is clear. This space is still clearing. Nothing here is settled. And if the universe hears not settled, it delays what it intended to deliver. Abundance hesitates. Opportunities hover. Visitors may arrive, but never return. Relationships form but lack depth. Work comes but doesn't fulfill. All because your home's first impression says, I'm still sweeping things out. This isn't about hiding your tools out of shame. It's about honoring their purpose by giving them a respectful resting place. So where should these items go? In closed storage, a cabinet, a closet, a hallway utility room that is away from the main entry path. Even better, face the broom's bristles inward and upward when stored. symbolizing collection and containment, not dispersal. Never lean it against the front door. Never let the handle rest on the welcome mat. And if you must place it near the entrance, due to space constraints, conceal it fully, behind a closed door, within a solid bin, or draped discreetly with fabric that neutralizes its message. In homes where floor plans are tight, studio apartments, shared spaces, minimalist designs, some viewers may wonder, what if I have no closet? Then get creative. Use a decorative screen, a cloth curtain, or even a slim storage box with a lid. The principle is simple. If the tool is meant to remove, it should not be the first thing energy sees upon arrival. Here's where it gets deeper. The broom doesn't just move dust, it moves thought. Its presence in Feng Shui symbolizes our mental patterns. A broom near the front door can indicate a subconscious habit of self-sabotage, of sweeping away blessings before you fully accept them. It can symbolize unresolved guilt, unworthiness, or fear of success. So this isn't just decor, it's therapy. Relocate the broom, and you may feel a subtle shift inside. An opening, a release, a readiness. Let me share a true example. A retired teacher in Oregon reached out for a Feng Shui consultation. Her home was bright, clean, and filled with books, but her grown children rarely visited. I don't know why, she said. I've made this home for family, but it always feels empty. During the walkthrough, I noticed a vintage wooden broom leaning just inside the door, a beautiful antique she'd kept as a kind of charm. She said it reminded her of her grandmother. But I asked gently, "What did your grandmother do with this broom?" She replied, "Swept the porch every morning. She didn't want anything dirty coming inside." And there it was, the energetic imprint of rejection, passed down unknowingly. That broom was guarding the house, not welcoming it. We moved it to a display wall near the kitchen instead, where its meaning was about tradition, not threshold. Within 2 weeks, her daughter booked a visit. Then her son called. The house felt different, not because of one broom, but because the house had changed its message. It had stopped saying, "Go away," and started saying, "Come in." Your tools carry stories. Where you place them tells the next chapter. Now let's go even further. What if you don't want just to prevent energy loss, but actively invite abundance? That's where enhancement objects come in. Feng Shui isn't just about avoidance, it's about activation. One of the simplest remedies is the use of cinnamon sticks. Warm, fragrant, and energetically linked to fire and movement, cinnamon has long been used to attract prosperity, ignite momentum, and sweeten the energetic atmosphere. When placed near the doorway, especially at floor level, they act as symbolic anchors of financial warmth in motion. Place 2 cinnamon sticks horizontally at the baseboard just inside the entrance. Tuck them behind a plant pot, under a shoe bench, or even inside a decorative box. Replace them monthly. And here's a ritual to try. On the first day of each month, gently blow powdered cinnamon from the palm of your hand inward across your front threshold while saying aloud, "May abundance enter and settle here." This practice, while simple, engages intention, direction, in the sensory system, making it a triple alignment of mind, body, and space. Here's the deeper truth. Cleaning tools clear energy, but they must not claim authority over your entry. The front of your home is for blessings, not brooms. Let's zoom out. The energetic role of the entrance is to welcome. Every item placed there either supports that role or competes with it. Just as we wouldn't greet a guest by handing them a mop, we must not symbolically do so through our decor. Your doorway is not a storage zone, it's an altar. It's the mouth through which your home speaks its first word. That word must be welcome, not wipe your feet and leave. When a home is constantly clearing itself, it's also constantly losing pieces of itself. And over time, that loss becomes emotional. It becomes fatigue. It becomes disconnection. You start forgetting why you moved into the space. You forget your dreams. You sleep near your goals but never actualize them. All because the energetic field has been primed for removal, not reception. This section isn't about shaming cleaning tools. Quite the opposite. They are powerful allies. But in Feng Shui, placement transforms purpose. So give them the dignity of a hidden home. Treat them like sacred instruments, not visual clutter. And in their place, let your entrance breathe. Let it offer calm, not clutter, invitation, not interruption. And for those still wondering if these changes really make a difference, remember this: your physical space is a mirror of your inner space. If you constantly see objects of cleaning, your mind stays in problem-solving mode, in fixing mode, in there's something wrong mode. But when you remove that cue, your nervous system relaxes. You stop sweeping, you start receiving. Let that be your goal this season. Not just a clean home, but a clear welcome. Not just a broom relocated, but a message rewritten. From I'm still managing to I am ready. Final, what if I told you that every time you step through your front door, you're not just crossing into your home, you're stepping into a field of energy shaped by everything you've chosen to place there? That space, that threshold, is not just a hallway. It's a decision, a mirror, a quiet agreement between you and your future. And what most people don't realize is this: it's the small, unconscious things. The broom leaning too close, the worn doormat, the dying plant in the corner that do the loudest talking. Every misplaced object is a quiet message that says, I'm not ready. Every faded symbol whispers, this house is stuck. You are not alone in this. Most of us make the same mistakes, thinking we're just being practical. But practicality without awareness becomes energetic clutter. Thousands of homes carry the same blind spots: shoes crowding the entrance, mirrors bouncing energy away, rusted tools and forgotten packages saying more about chaos than calm. These aren't just individual missteps. They're shared habits passed from one overwhelmed household to another until disorder becomes normal and blessings feel blocked for reasons we can't name. But now you can name them. You've seen them. You know what they're doing, and that means you can begin to shift them. You can replace confusion with clarity. You can move from reaction to intention. You can make your home speak in a new voice, one that says, welcome, I'm ready, let life in. And the beauty is, you don't need to change everything, just one thing. Tonight, walk to your front door and remove one item that no longer reflects the life you want. A broken mat, a tired tool, a plant that no longer thrives. Then, in its place, choose something that affirms the energy you're ready to live with. A healthy green plant, a symbol of prosperity, a color that uplifts your soul. Small shifts at the entrance lead to big shifts in your reality. And it starts with respect, not for the object, but for the energy it carries. At New Day Mindfulness, this is what we're here to remind you of. Feng Shui isn't some ancient mystery reserved for temples or experts. It's a living practice meant for everyday people, young or old, busy or burned out, skeptical or spiritual, who are ready to reclaim their space as an ally, not an obstacle. Our mission has always been to bring Feng Shui back to its roots as a way of living in quiet alignment with space, energy, and intention. Not through superstition, but through subtle intelligence passed down for generations. Because when your space supports you, your life opens. When your home welcomes prosperity, it stays longer. When your entrance clears confusion, opportunity steps in. Whether it's placing 2 cinnamon sticks by the baseboard, choosing the right mat color for your door direction, or simply storing away a cleaning tool that's been silently pushing fortune away, these aren't aesthetic tweaks. They're symbolic declarations of readiness, of worth, of hope. And if this video gave you something new to see, something you didn't know was missing until now, I invite you to share this message. Leave a comment about one thing you'll change this week and subscribe to New Day Mindfulness. We are close to reaching 5,000 subscribers, and your support allows us to continue creating content that is clear, grounded, and deeply valuable to your journey. We want every person who finds this channel to feel that shift, that aha, that moves them from stuck to steady, from cluttered to clear. Because Feng Shui is not just about fixing what's wrong, it's about honoring what's possible. And every small action you take is a step toward a home that reflects your truest self. So ask yourself, what is the very first thing your home tells you when you arrive? And is it the message you want your life to hear? One space at a time, one soul at a time.